Leslie was talking about the Thursday clapping, and now we've finished the Thursday clapping. But I think it's still important that we kind of record our thanks to all the NHS workers and the key workers who are keeping everything going, the health service and everything else that makes our world carry on at this difficult time. And I'm sort of focusing on the news. My next bit is always the news, and I was starting with the July 2020 UK Vogue having a midwife on the front cover, which is fantastic. It's also, I understand, and I haven't got a copy yet, but I think this might be one time that I do buy the Vogue. There might be other things too, and which has a feature on the day in the life of 3 key workers, and I think that'll be something really positive to kind of highlight midwifery in a really positive way, and which has also obviously been featured on TV. So thank you to Leslie for that. I think one of the issues this week has been very much that of race and BAME, very high in the news. Firstly, from home with the effects of COVID, highlighting that BAME people are significantly more at risk of being affected and of course to die from COVID-19. And this report has been criticised because it's covering a lot of statistics, but it's actually not perhaps been talking about the actions and recommendations. And I was thinking today that maybe we as a profession really need to read it very carefully, very critically, and then think about how we can individually sort out and look at our BME colleagues and make sure they're protected and not exposed to excessive risk. I know it's difficult because if they're working in the health service, looking after on the front line, looking after patients, they will be at risk. But, making sure they've got sufficient equipment to protect them and making sure they're looked after, as we should be looking after each other anyway. And of course, that's been put in very sharp focus from the news from America, which has been horrible. But I think we need to look at ourselves. We can't just say, oh, it's America, it's not happening here, because I think that's what's highlighted, that it is happening, and we need to really fight racism very actively, individually and institutionally. And I have on the resources that you can get after today, put a kind of clip, a link to a clip from a lady called Jane Elliott, who's famous for doing an experiment with children with brown and blue eyes. And you'll kind of, if you watch the clip, you might find it very illuminating and might challenge your way of thinking wherever you are. And then I'm doing a bit of a Skinner sandwich, so I'm going to finish with some good news and say a big congratulations to Professor Helen Chain and Elizabeth Bannon and Professor Jean White on all being awarded the prestigious RCM Honorary Fellowship. Very much deserved and really good news. So that's my little Skinner sandwich there. So tonight we're going to be looking at the effect of COVID on maternity services, but we're really in the context of human rights in maternity care for women and their families. And this is really very critical at a time when we need to be looking at the care we give women to make sure that they are cared for and respected and empowered in their care. So without further ado, I'm really so thrilled to welcome Maria Booker.
Thanks for watching this video from the Maternity and Midwifery Forum. For more expert opinion and analysis, hit the button below to subscribe.